So hi everyone, I'm Ellen Weaver. I go to Carolina Day School. I love animals and I love to run. How many of you guys are athletes? Raise your hands. It's a lot of you. Okay, raise your hand. A lot of sports run. And those of you that have tried it know that running can be really, really hard. Any type of run is capable of being a challenge. There's uphills, downhills, distance runs, and short and quick runs. I personally have an immense respect for the sport because of the journey it puts you through. Being a committed runner is really challenging, even when you're not even running. Sometimes you have to limit yourself to a diet or stretch a certain amount every day, or drink an amount of water and sleep the right amount of sleep. But all the while it's fun. It's fun because I'm changing myself and turning myself into who I want to be, all to meet a certain goal. I like to apply my running mindset to everyday life, including my religious life. We all know that life in general can be really, really hard. Focusing on my goal of talking to God every day is often a challenge for me, and I find myself needing to make a routine. I try to pray every night before I go to sleep, and I tend to pray during the hard parts of life. Not that praying during hard times is bad, but I believe that in order for my relationship with God to be as strong as I want it to be, I need it to be consistent. Just like running or any other sports that you guys do. You can't just practice when it's convenient, or you guys would never improve. One thing that helps with keeping consistency for some people is having a mantra. If you don't know what a mantra is, it's like a single phrase to keep in your head to remind you of what you want to do. Anything could be a mantra, a made-up phrase, a quote, something your mom said, or a motto of a company. Athletes, like you guys, use mantras during their competitions to help them keep their head up and keep them motivated. Students, most people here are students, use mantras to keep them positive and determined. And musicians can use mantras during their performances to keep them calm and on time. One day, an Olympic runner once visited our school. It's a pretty big deal for me. I realized this after the meeting, but a few years ago my dad showed me a video of a 400 relay runner who broke his shin in half and continued to race like nothing happened. It was quite a graphic video, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was still cool. My takeaway from this video was basically that anything is possible with devotion, and we are capable of more than we realize. That mindset has always helped me through my running career. Anyways, the man who was in the video was coming to our school. The meeting was scheduled during lunch in the auditorium, which is just a tiny little carpeted room for us because we're in a small school. And only about 10 kids came, which was really surprising to me. We sat in a semicircle, and him and the leaders of the Black Student Union sat in front of us. He sat down, he said hi, we all quietly said hello, and there were a couple of awkward seconds of silence. He said, well, in anticipation for our questions. We were pretty shy. His name is Emmanuel Mitchell, if you guys know him. He lives in Asheville, and he was pretty funny. Considering he was an Olympic athlete, he was pretty chill and laid back. I'll share some of the things he said. It's just like random stuff with the questions. He trains every single day, no days off, so recovery is really crucial. He recovers with massages, yoga, ice, and cryotherapy, which is like this dry ice thing. It's really expensive and hardcore, so I wouldn't recommend it. Don't do it. He has a strict diet, which includes no processed foods, and he forgets losses. And I asked him how he copes with losses, since he said he didn't really like losing. And he said short-term memory. So there's that. I don't know what you do with that. You can find his super cool Spotify if you search his name. And he said that stress has an effect on your performance. This is true, I can confirm. So relax a little, and that consistency was a big part of his lifestyle. One of the most impactful questions for me was when a student asked, what is your mantra? And he said, faith, focus, finish. My first thought was, of course that's his mantra, it sounds cool. But after the meeting, I kept thinking about it and asking, what does it even mean? Faith in what? Faith in yourself? Faith in the race itself? And then I decided that it didn't really matter. It was a solid mantra that could apply to really anything, not just running. I think it applies in terms of praying and religious life, mostly the faith-focused part. I don't really know what would be finished. You guys can come up with that if you want to. So faith. I relate faith with perseverance. Can you guys think of any examples when you would persevere in really anything? Or how do you persevere?
Patrick, your dad was a geek cell leader.
Is that your mantra?
Yeah.
True. End of the school days, what Mia said.
Whenever I'm dancing, I'm doing my solo, I get no breaths, so I get really tired at the end. I just have to keep going.
Yeah.
And I can't breathe, but it's fine.
Breathe. It's fine. My goal is to keep my faith strong through thick and thin, and to be faithful through the hard times and the smooth times. I want to have a consistent, strong faith in not only God, but the journey He puts me through. I think that we can all agree that Wilderness Trail is a prime example of having faith in your journey. Everyone knows that feeling of being lost, in pain, and exhausted. But the thing that I love about Wilderness Trail is that all the while you know you're going to get to camp. You know everything is going to be okay, and it literally forces the faith out of you, making it stronger and active. If you remember hard enough, you must definitely have a mantra when you were hiking to help keep your faith and the hike strong. Focus. So there's a bunch of different methods you can use to keep your focus on God. I wrote down some examples. Some people keep a prayer list. Some people read their Bible every day, and some people discuss with their family about Sunday school. That's just some examples. But my method of focusing is prayer. Ever since I was a little girl, I was told by my parents to say your prayers, and so I say my prayers every single night. But the older I get, the harder focusing becomes. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. Sometimes after a late night track meet or something, I crash minutes after arriving home without taking a shower or talking to my parents. It's kind of hard to admit, but I'm still in the midst of finding time to pray and focus. Giving this talk is a part of that journey for me, and this is why mantras are helpful for me. I will take the mantra of faith, focus, forgiveness as a reminder of my life's mission. I added forgiveness because it applies to my personal values and my story, but mantra creating is about your journey. Manny Mitchell has proved to us that we are capable of doing anything. Mantras only help. He is proof that with the right amount of devotion, we can become anything we want to, fulfill our goals. I mean, look, we have people right here in our church who have done more than we expected. Carrie in our orphanage, for example. We create our own stories, our own races, and our own mantras. What do you want your story to be? Will you guys pray with me? Dear God, thank you for our strength. Thank you for our healthy minds, and thank you for our opportunities to grow them. Thank you for our role models and our leaders. Please help us to strengthen our faith, focus on you, and to achieve our goals in our faith. Amen.
Amen.